Okay.
This is Chris Kelly from the Okeanos Explorer, and next to me is...
This is Chris Ma from the Invertebrate Zoology Department at the Smithsonian Institution.
Oh, sorry. Okay, we scooped roll in here, so stand by.
What's that?
This is a general announcement to all those on the ship and the shore watching from the home or ECCs. This is a general announcement to notify everyone on the conference call as well as on the OKX party line that all audio associated with this dive will be recorded with the archive video as well as being streamed to the world in the internet. Keep that in mind as we proceed with the dive today, and enjoy the dive. Thank you.
Getting the bottom hit every once in a while.
Thank you, Oleg.
Serious.
Okay.
So I just want to point out a fact right out of the barrel of the gun here. So we've got Chris Ritter as a pilot today. So we have a mass of Chris's, and it's sort of an event that I refer to as a Christmas. So that's a bad one. That's going to be the quality of the rest of them today. I want to point out something. Right, so we are right
want to go to Mini
off
Zeus,
the east part of the Johnston Atoll. We're not near the island.
So
actually, the atoll itself extends quite a bit out with these submerged terraces, and we're on sort of the easternmost part of this very large platform. That used to be the summit of the volcano or actual island, presumably, that used to be here before it sank beneath the sea and left only small remnants over on the northern part. But some of you are very interested in the CTD data, so I'll let you know that we're just about hitting the oxygen minimum right now at about 510, 520 meters, and it looks like it's right around 1 milligram per milliliter.
There we go.
So we'll keep an eye on that. But again, we're still, as we're going further south each day, we're seeing the actual lowest oxygen point in the water column get shallower and shallower. So it was initially I think about 650, and then it was about, what was it, 575, 600 the next day, and now we're about 525.
Start to get into position.
Okay.
So this is pretty anoxic where we are today, and it's going to be really interesting to, it's not truly anoxic, because I think truly anoxic is defined as 0.5, but there's a lot of animals that cannot tolerate 1 milligram per liter of oxygen only. So this could be very, very interesting. I think we could have a very different community at this depth than we've seen elsewhere. You have anything to add to that?
That's right, Chris. Oxygen is one of those environmental factors which help scientists to understand the broad distribution of organisms on the seafloor. Since there are a lot of factors to consider, we look at those characteristics which are intrinsic to life on the bottom, including oxygen, temperature, and so forth. So
bottom lock.
The fact that this area has a different environmental regime should give us an interesting insight into low oxygen areas.
So we have, I think we probably have about 50 or so meters to go before we reach the bottom. We're at 546 meters right now. So this is going to be one of our shallower dives that we do on this cruise. We've got 2 of these in a row, today's and tomorrow's. And
cameras are clear.
One of the main themes that we've had in the capstone mission here to the Pacific is to try to find communities of deep water corals and sponges. We've had some other priorities as well, the manganese crust communities, but we're way too shallow for manganese crust today.
Yes, sir.
So we're focusing on corals as our main priority. And in particular, the presence of commercially valuable precious corals have never been documented in this monument. These are types of corals that secrete a hard skeleton that you can make into jewelry. And these typically these are typically harvested at maybe about 600 meters up to, well, actually some of the shallow blacks up to 40 or 50 meters where they do technical diving for some of these corals. So what we're going to try to see today is whether the monument has any precious corals, and if so, document them for the very first time. And as those of you who have been following the capstone dives over the last couple of years, you know these shallow dives can be really, really fascinating because we get into these interesting transitions between communities. We see completely different types of animals at these depths. And we might, just might, see a couple of Chris Moss sea stars. The guy is like he's shriveling up. He's got to see a sea star at least once every couple of days, or he just withers away to nothing here.
Well, thank you, Chris. I'll tell you right now that the fine food we have in our mess precludes my shriveling up in any way. But yes, we have been deficient in our observation of sea stars, and at this depth, I can almost predict with certainty that we'll see a couple, other than the Brisinghids that we've been seeing at depth. So stay tuned, and we'll be sure to see some interesting interactions, I'm sure.
A couple other things about these depths. There are some glass sponges that come up this shallow, but there's not very many compared to what we would typically find at 1,000 meters or 3,000 meters or so. So I'm a guy who likes sponges, and I'll be having an eye out for sponges. What happens is the glass sponges don't do very well in shallow water, and there's another couple types of sponge, but particularly one type of sponge called a demo sponge that actually does much better at these depths. Yeah, so I'm thinking we're going to see more demo sponges than actual glass sponges. The distinction is that they produce the very different types of skeletal parts, and so they're in very different
just have
groups.
You hold there.
Okay. So there are some demo sponge experts out there that have helped us on some of our previous cruises. Shirley Pomponi is one of these, and Rob Van Soest in the Netherlands as well is another one who's helped a lot on demo sponges. So hopefully we can see some of the animals for them. Also, we get a lot more fish on these shallow water dives. So I think we're going to have a treat today for fish guys, fish enthusiasts. I don't know, you think we're going to see some urchins too, Chris? Or?
Well, I think at these depths there's quite a bit more productivity, and we'll hopefully see urchins, brittle stars, and sea stars, as well as many feather stars, also called crinoids.
Jar in. Okay.
So I'm just informed we saw a small
you want to bring the light bars out or leave them for now?
That's for now. Let's
just keep coming on down.
Who are watching.
I've got an altitude of 30 meters.
Feed 1 is the main ROV, the D2 feed. Feed 2 is Sirius, and feed 3 is the navigation screen. So if we make some comment about seeing something in Sirius, then if you guys can hit that button to feed 2 on your computers, then you might get a glimpse of it. Anyway, I'm sorry, Chris, go ahead.
Oh, no, that's fine. The thing that you'll probably see in terms of echinoderms that's a little different is on prior days we saw stocked crinoids, and we probably won't see as many of those at this depth. Oh, and we're just viewing the bottom right as we speak. And I can already see all sorts of interesting forms on the surface.
Yeah, there's animals down here. That's what all those black things are. We don't know what they are yet, but when we get down a little closer, we'll be able to identify some of these things. They look like corals. So that's a pretty good start when we can see them this high up. That bodes well.
Absolutely.
This substrate that you're seeing is probably a mixture of sediment and consolidated carbonate in old reef formations. Oh, and there could be a gold coral up here already, up here in the upper left. So
looks like there's a couple of them. One there, one there, and one there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's true, but we got a lot of stuff to take a look at right off the bat here.
And so for those of you who are new to the broadcast, what we typically do first is the ROV has to land and sort of settle out and work out its position and so forth. And then after a brief period of adjustment, we begin to survey the bottom. But as you can see just from our main camera, there's already quite a lot of
pretty heavy current
diversity in the current, or in the corals we're seeing.
Yeah, and I bet Les Watling is pretty excited right now because we have Metallogorgia. I think that's what we're looking at here. There's a bunch of them on the bottom, and this is pretty shallow for Metallogorgia.
I'm going to be comparing white balance settings,
maybe it's
so you'll
due
see
to the
some
low
flicker
oxygen.
on your main
I'm
camera.
not really sure.
Understood.
But this is terrific. What a start. We got a black coral over there as well. These are probably plexaurids, these kind of brownish yellow ones.
So for those who are maybe unfamiliar with the setup we have here in Okeanos, we also have a cooperative shoreside pool of scientists that are currently on a science chat room that we're using. And this includes experts from all over the world. And we've just had sign-ins from Asako Matsumoto from Japan, as well as Tina Molitsova from Moscow, or from Russia rather. We have experts from all over the United States, from Les Watling, as well as George Matsumoto from Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute.
Yeah, we got to do better than just Russia or Japan. Asako's from the Chiba Institute in Japan, and Tina's from the Shirshov Institute in Moscow. We got to give a call out to their institutions. And Les Watling from University of Hawaii is in the marine biology program.
Just off center,
and,
lower
they're all
left center
coral
of
specialists,
the
and it looks like there's
ROV
something
cam.
for all three of them here. We've got Chrysogorges for Les, Plexaurids for Asako, and black corals for Tina. Now, how about that?
Yeah.
A little something for everyone. That's a good start.
Yep.
Yeah, I see that. Watch the pilot.
Roger, pilot, go ahead.
Hey, fellow Chris's, we have reached bottom, obviously. Z-bias is in, and we're ready to go here. We do have just for reference, we do have a strong current north to south, or northwest to southeast. So we'll see how if that maintains throughout the day, but that's what we have right now.
Great, roger that, pilot. So are we ready to start taking some close-up orders here?
Yeah, I think we're...
You want to deploy?
I think we're all set for that. Yeah, my co-pilot's going to deploy the lights, but what do you want to look at?
Well, let's start with this sort of yellowish-brown fan that's right in front of us here. And let's, because there's a whole bunch of them on the bottom, you can pick the one of your choice. Okay. And I think these are in the family Plexauridae, but let's find out.
Copy. Sure. While we're getting set up, front row can introduce themselves. My name is Chris Ritter. I'm pilot. Go ahead, Andy.
And navigator, I'm Andy Lister.
And co-pilot, Don Libertori.
And off screen on the right, you can't see, is Roland Bryan. In the back, we have Tara Smithy doing the clipping.
And we're all working with the Global Foundation for Ocean Exploration.
And in case you missed our introduction earlier on, this is Chris Maher from the National Museum of Natural History at the Smithsonian Institution.
Okay,
my colleague here is
Chris Kelly. I'm from the University of Hawaii School of Ocean and Earth Science and Technology, and right next to me is... Not sure I heard you there, Nicola. Anyway, it's Nicola Rodriguez. There we go. I think we got you.
No, OKEX.
Nicola Rodriguez from the University of Hilo.
On the O2 levels.
Copy.
All right, so this is our first target here, and
Also
I'm going to actually change what I thought this was, and I don't know if Asako or Tina or Les are thinking the same thing.
Roland. I'm getting blown
But that looks like it's an Acanthogorgia to me. What do you guys think about this one? See if we can get some help from the shore side.
Copy. Okay. Let's try to come back in. Co-pilot, can you take the camera there?
Sure. Okay.
Maybe tilt up slightly.
Tilt up.
One of the things we are...
yeah, I see it there.
So Tina she's saying, I think she's saying, isn't this an Acanthogorgia? And I would agree, Tina, if that's what you're saying, I think it is.
Slightly.
Okay.
Very elongate kind of columnar polyps. And I don't see any type of sheath that they can retract into, which I think is characteristic of at least some of the members.
Give it a tilt up.
But So Tina does think it's an acanthogoidy, and I'm going to wait and see what Les and Sako have to say about it.
Just give me a little more. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, shoot.
You'll also notice these little sort of worm-like structures that are around the surface. These are the arms of brittle stars, which are distant relatives of sea stars. We'll learn more about those as we have an opportunity to visualize the full animal. But they're often found living on these types of corals.
Let's try just octocoral and then just throw in a acanthogoidy. Excuse me there.
Okay, and
we are also attempting to log these dives live. So we're
one little tilts up there.
Science is good whenever video is good with this, and we'll go to our next target, which I think is a black coral to the right. I think there's one left and right,
and the lasers are on currently. Yes.
Negative.
Okay, video's clear.
Copy.
Lasers are on now.
Okay.
Yeah, so Tina's noting some other things, the black axis, which is also consistent with acanthogoidy, so thank you very much. Sako apparently does not have good video feed this morning from where she's at, so she's having a little trouble seeing it.
Copy.
Yeah, so let's take a look at some of those dark red ones. Hey, the one that's got a nice broadside here to the middle left.
Okay.
It was a minute ago before the current turned it.
Yeah, that's...
There goes a fish that went flying through the scene. I think could have been something, I think they're called sternoptychids. I'm not positive though.
If either one of them are options, I'd choose the nearer one. I don't know which science is interested in.
Copy. You still got that camera, right?
Still got it, yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and tilt down.
What are you shooting for? This one right in the center?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, video, go ahead and try to get that one there.
This black coral is about 10 to 15 centimeters across. Those two laser dots are 10 meters apart.
Centimeters, you said meters.
Oh, sorry. That's a really big black hole.
That's a little bigger than I'd like to be.
Yeah, okay, centimeters, excuse me.
Maximum.
All right, Tina, I have a possible idea based on you trying to train me on these animals, but I'm going to let you go ahead and fire off the definitive ID, since you are an expert in these animals.
I'm going to give it one small tilt up to the...
Definitive as best we can.
Give it a little more light up there, maybe.
A little more?
Yeah, a little more. That's good there. Is that a little better, Roland?
Okay, so Tina thought they were staropathes, and
that's what I was thinking
as well.
Sure. Let's give it one tilt down. Gonna do full specimen. Yeah, there
Sako thought it possibly could be that as well. She agrees with that particular look.
How's that rolling?
Oh, there's a little hermit crab over to the left.
Beautiful image of this thing, that's for sure.
A little hermit crab over there on the right, too.
Sorry, I was talking to you with the mic off.
They're all over the place.
Clear now.
Copy that.
Is that
They're not exactly living like hermits here, are they?
Hermit crab with an enemy
within a short period of time.
Want to snap on that one?
Watch the pilot.
Roger, pilot, go ahead.
Hey, do we want anything else on this subject here?
I'm good on the coral. I think Chris is pointing out a couple of these little small hermit crabs. One's got an anemone on it.
Yeah, the one with the, that's one. That's it.
Yeah, So some of them have anemones and some of them have shells, and this guy's got an anemone and a shell,
one tilt down,
which others have as well.
Great. So hermit crabs are, of course, little crustaceans that, for protection, they borrow the shells of snails that are no longer inhabiting their shells.
Go ahead and tilt again.
In some cases, there are hermit crabs which actually encourage the growth of sea anemones to perch on their shells. And this is kind of a win-win situation for both, so that the hermit crab sort of transports the sea anemone around, and the sea anemone sort of feeds on food that the hermit crab brings in.
Okay, we're going to go for one of those Metallogorgia before Les just gets like out of control. He's been very good so far, but I'm sure he's just chomping at the bit. A Metallogorgia is one of these plume ones, kind of gray plume ones that's dead center right now above the lasers.
Okay. I'm going to do a quick swap out with Dave.
Okay.
And he's going to get that for you. So.
Well, we no longer have a Chris mass then, do
I know. I'll be in co-pilot though. So.
Okay.
Also, it might be a critical mass.
Yes, that's right. Okay, bear with us. We're having some musical chairs going on in the front row here. A little couple things while they're getting ready. This particular cruise is called Laulima Okamoana, and that's referring to the fact that this is a very much partnership endeavor, what we're doing right now. I don't know if I said that very well, but we have lots and lots of partners here that are helping out on these cruises with every aspect. We have GFOE that's taking care of a lot of the ROV engineering tasks. Chris is from the Smithsonian. I'm from the University of Hawaii. I already mentioned we've got folks on the event log here from Shershoff Institute and the Chiba Institute as well in different countries. We've got Nicola here from the University of Hawaii, Hilo and OER folks. And so we've got a lot of people. Takes a village.
Look at there's a ray on the bottom up there.
Got it.
Video, you copy? On the Sirius view, we got a
copy
ray
that.
on the bottom.
Rotate right.
I'll tilt up for that in a minute.
See?
Maybe. So why don't we skip this first one because it's all overgrown and pretty well dead, and maybe get one of these clean ones.
Yep, big one.
Oh, we got a fish, a big stingray coming in.
Wow, that is a big stingray.
Maybe we'll hold off on the Metallogorgia and grab the fish.
He's coming to look at us, so we can just wait for him.
Yeah, he's... So I don't see a bunch of fish guys on the line right now, but I know this guy. He's in Hawaii. He's really common.
Co-pilot.
He's coming close to us. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, go ahead. You can zoom in on.
Wow.
So this particular stingray is called Plesiobatus Davy's eye.
Not going after him, Dave?
No, I'm not going to chase him down there.
I'm going to go ahead and punch that into the...
You know what he is. We got him on the
annotation.
approach.
Yeah, we didn't have a great
usually lose
highlight
view of it. Downhill
so
anyway.
Dave, I wonder if we could get this plume-shaped Metallogorgia that's right in front of you here, one of the two. And
yeah, I'm just getting accustomed. It's breezy down here, and, but we'll get you there.
Great, thank you.
So people on shore may notice that all the corals are tilted in a particular direction. This is likely to do with the fact that there's a fairly brisk current
running center up HD2
running along the bottom of the surface here, and that's an important factor in the biology of these animals, as they're filter feeders.
Go ahead, Rich. Just made a little annotation. There's a little ribbon sponge that's right underneath one of these
that is
Metallogorgia corals that are on the long stalks. That kind of little white thing that's on the seafloor. And that's
we are
if we're not using it, can we send it up? So if we're not using it, can we center ROV HD2?
Hold on.
Copy that. Yeah, you can come about if you want.
Also got some, looks appear to be either cup corals or anemones.
Oh, okay, yeah, roger.
I think this is actually a cup coral, and maybe we'll get an image of that after this.
Video.
How's that? Tilt up. Okay.
They're still doing a little bit of coordination from one shift to the other on the front row.
Hey, really?
And Dave, what we're after?
Right in the middle.
There we
Hold
go.
there a sec.
Oh, double trouble.
That's a nice view. I like the symmetry
I love how they're
in the
just
video.
perfectly parallel to each other.
I'm not sure what those black things are. I don't.
Lasers
Is it part of the brittle star, or is there something else?
Don, you get a chance.
I don't think it's part of. I think it's something else.
Hang on, Rolly.
Please pardon the interruption. Your conference contains less than 3 participants at this time.
There you go.
If you would
Well,
like
no,
to
it's part of the
continue,
brittle
press
star.
star
It is.
one
Yeah,
now,
it is.
or the conference will be terminated.
Okay, Tina spotted another black coral.
Go ahead,
Tina,
Rich.
we'll see if we can get to that after we.
All right, Dave, that's
Take the image of this
partial,
guy.
I think.
So did you say this was Metallogorgia?
This is Metallogorgia, Melanotrichus, presumably. I'm not sure how many different species of
Copy that.
Metallogorgia there are.
And the animal that is coiled around the center of this coral is an ophiuroid, that is to say a snake star, or sometimes they're called brittle stars. And these often form close relationships with coral. They wrap their arms around them and use these as perches, often to exploit the current flow that this one is currently in. They don't actually feed on the corals, as far as we know, and many of these ophiuroids are actually intimately related with these corals and stay on them for the rest of their lives. Very rarely does one see one of these ophiuroids or one of these serpent stars separate and just individually apart from its host coral.
Video's clear.
Yeah, pilot, watch lead, please.
Yes, I'm back with you. What would you like?
There's probably a couple other things we want to look at, but I want to make sure you're aware that there could be a gold coral a little further upslope to the left. But
Okay,
as long as we don't start beelining over to the right, we kind of want to meander up toward the left if possible.
In the present view, is there anything for closer?
Yeah, there is this little small thing that looks like an anemone to the left center.
Yes, reddish.
Yeah, and I don't think it's an anemone. That's why I think we could go ahead and zoom. I think it's actually a cup coral.
You can get a little more zoom video. Just twist around a little bit here. There we go.
Bridge, this is nav. Do you still want to turn, or are you happy with this heading?
And he's got his tentacles all over. It's definitely a cup coral. And I'm trying to see if there's any ridging on the cup, which I think there could be. It's hard to see, but this most closely resembles something that's called polymyces, but I think it's in the family Flabellidae. And I don't know if there's some others that want to weigh in on this thing. Polymyces wellsii typically has vertical ridges on the calyx.
Just to let you know, the bridge, they're fighting a little bit with the current.
Like
they're changing, they're heading to 145.
But thank you very much, pilot. We're good from
I'll
science whenever videos are ready.
Video's clear.
Come wide,
Do we have lasers on?
We turned them off a while ago and put them back on.
Lasers are back.
Lasers are back.
Okay, and then if you pan up,
looking up,
there is, where is it? Up slope about dead center, 1/3 down is a yellower colony.
Yeah,
that's something we want to get to at some point.
Okay, got that.
And I don't see the black coral that Tina was referring to in view, so maybe we'll see some more, but perhaps on the sediment is what she was talking about. Over there in that little sediment channel, there's a plume of something.
Let's get a little more zoom, please, video rolling. We'll just
Pilots,
hold that right there.
I'm noting the lights seem to be a little bit focused in right now rather than dispersed. I have a hot spot in the center.
Yeah, we definitely want to get that yellow one up there.
Okay,
that
can you
could
repeat that,
be
please?
Our first precious coral. I'm not positive.
Copy that, 145 it is.
You said light is focused out ahead?
Yeah, it seems a little too focused in the center rather than fully dispersed.
Are perhaps unfamiliar with some of the things that we're looking
see
at.
it in the
These are all animals. These are different types of deep-sea corals.
Further up the hill.
Most of them are octocorals. That is, they have 8 feeding arms. And if we get a zoom in on some of the branches, you'll see that there are little polyps, little cups with arms around them. And they're taking advantage of this feeding flow, of this current flow, and using their arms to capture food from out of the water. But many different kinds are found in these kinds of habitats, and we'll see a whole bunch of them on today's dive.
So this is this little demo sponge right above the lasers I was talking about earlier. This is Postalastra, and it's very common. We used to call them ribbon sponges, common inhabitant of these depths. Still not sure I spotted that black coral that Tina was talking about, but maybe we'll come across.
Sand channel, was that?
Well, I thought so, but now that I'm looking at it, it looks like it's another one of these staropathes.
One on the right or the left is
where's
candidate?
Yeah, I think they both are.
Okay, let's zoom on. Just zoom, please, Roland.
Yeah, let's see. Not sure that's the one you're talking about, Tina. Let's see. And zoom at white one left to the Metallogorgia.
Thanks, Roland.
She saw something that was next to the Metallogorgia. Maybe it was that unbranched thing that you were pointing out a moment ago?
Okay, let's come out a little bit, get some more context so we can see what you might have been referring to. I'm going to come left to the other one.
Partial.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, let's go back in on that one. I'm bringing the lasers to it here. That one.
Yeah, that
seems a little denser, but I don't.
I think they can have slightly different appearances. So she said it was left of the gold coral, so maybe we can start heading up toward that
wide, please, Roland.
gold one. And this would be really marvelous if it truly is a Kulamanamana haumei, which is the name of the gold coral.
Would you feel comfortable with a move at this time?
It's gone through a number of taxonomic nomenclature revisions. That's where it stands now.
Does it have, you had called it precious coral, is that just a name in title only, or is it actually used in jewelry?
It is used in jewelry, if it's what I hope it is. It's not like anyone's going to use this coral because it's in the monument, but this would be fantastic if we could document their presence. It sure looks like it from here. I don't want to get too excited right off the bat.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, you maybe. Well, the Kulamanamana is a zoanthid. Parazoanthid.
Oh, it's a zoanthid.
Yeah.
You're
it is
starting to tug me a little. I'm gonna.
It's Enelopsamia scleractinian, but I think it's worth looking at.
I feel it. You might have to turn tail. I want to get a good. Actually, here, let me do this. Let me sidle.
So more Metallogorgias, more of the staropathes, those red ones.
Side here.
Okay.
Try to get my tail towards you a little better.
Sounds good.
Well, shucks, but that's okay. It's a different coral. scleractinian folks might be.
You never
do you know
know.
the plan that
So that's a
came
scleractinian?
up
Yeah,
with?
it's a
And
scleractinian.
That's a yellow
just following the
scleractinian, isn't
contour
it?
on the north
Right,
side.
so this is going to be something
aware
in
of
the
that.
genus
Okay.
Enelopsamia, and right now we're referring
yeah,
to this
briefly.
as Enelopsamia
So that would be kind
rostrata.
of moving
this direction where the
It
back
does
side of the
not
palm.
like
have a
271,
feature on
270
its
direction
calyx that
from where
the
I think
species
you are.
rostrata has. So Steve
Just
Cairns
making
at
sure,
the
like, we
Smithsonian
stay on
where you
the
work calls this the
top of that ridge.
Amphiloides form,
curve to the
if I
south.
pronounce that right,
I think that would be good, yeah.
Enelopsamia rostrata.
Okay.
So the name comes from the fact
Little
it's
bit
got a
of
little
symbols,
hoodie,
really.
if you will, that's coming over the top
Yeah,
of the
maybe-
calyx. This particular
Maybe
yellow one
260.
doesn't have the hoodie, but in
260,
all other
okay.
respects, it's
Soon, please,
identical
video.
to it.
But that's a scleractinian.
Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah. Huh. Interesting. So for people watching, scleractinians are what we would refer to as proper corals, similar to the ones that you see in the reef intertidal type areas of the tropical
Go ahead, Rich.
Pacific and the tropical Atlantic. They have a very distinctive type
go
of
ahead.
skeletal morphology that
That would
sets them
be
apart
150.
from a lot of the octocorals that we've been seeing here
Copy
at
that.
depth. And now we're focused on what looks like a worm tube on this this Enelopsamia coral colony.
So we're looking at the side of this particular colony where there's not very many polyps. So that's characteristic of Enelopsamia. The polyps are usually facing one side only. And so there's a bunch of hypotheses as to why some of these corals, like even the corallids, have this kind
Ready
of
for full screen?
morphology.
Yes.
And it's apparently a good design for filtering very close to the substrate, because a lot of these small
Slight tilt
plants-
down.
Yeah, I wonder if we could look at this white one, Pilot, right near the base.
Yes.
Yeah.
Video's getting a capture here.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Video's
that's
clear.
beautiful.
Okay, let's go back in. To the right
What the-
here.
yeah, this little white thing
Yeah.
that's right
Go
next
ahead,
to it.
Rich.
What is that?
Okay,
It's
copy
an
that.
idea.
Go ahead.
Is that a bamboo? Oh, I don't know. I don't.
Maximum
probably not.
zoom.
So, does anybody have an idea what this
All
little
right,
white one
co-pilot.
is?
Well,
I guess
is it-
they're still
Are the
fighting
are
the
the
currents up there.
polyps?
They're coming
Are those
up to
polyps with 8 arms?
160.
Yeah, they're
Copy.
polyps. So I
Our
can't
bailout
see
right
whether
now
they got
is
the 8 arms. or not.
50, which is
I think they got 8, so I think
the
it's an
complete opposite
octocoral.
way of where
Yeah.
we're
So-
facing. Should we change that bailout maybe to?
And so is it the same thing as that pink thing up to the right?
No, sorry, this is a primnoid. I can see it now.
130.
And there's
Moving
your
a
body
little bit more
scales
lined
right
up
there
with
on
the ship.
the left side, and there's at least 3 of them. So this is some type of a Norella, I would guess. Yeah, and Tina, I just looked in the event log. Tina spotted it was
I
a
think if we
primnoid
stay on the top of the ridge,
before I
we'll
even
be fine.
I even
Agreed.
got that.
Bridge, this
So
now.
thank you, Tina. I don't know. Would you go as
Since
far
we're
as Norella?
changing so
The
much
Sakura
our
left
heading,
one looks
let's
primnoid.
change the
Yeah, the right
bailout
pink one is something
to
different.
130.
I agree.
Copy that. Thank you.
Nav on HiPAC, could you decrease the track line length of D2? It's kind of all over the place. Just maybe half it or something.
That didn't
So
really.
we don't know what species
Yeah,
this is. but
Just let you do whatever
Video's
makes
clear.
what
some of
that
that
pink
go
one
away.
is either. There's a little anemone there as well below it. Okay, this is good for science. Thank you, Pilot.
Yeah, come on out, Roland. Chris, I'm going to move back a little bit towards Sirios for tether management
Okay.
and take a look off to the right, which would be north, and see if there's anything undiscovered.
Yeah.
Sure.
Pilot, check out what you got in the HD2's feed looking down in between those rocks.
What do you see, Rolly? My screen's too small.
Sort
Is
of
there
a
some-
reddish pink thing.
Yeah,
down
it
in
looks
there.
like
Bridge
a,
doesn't have.
Looks like it might be a...
let me know. I see that you're still changing your heading. Let me know when you're ready for a ship move.
Fish.
Oh, it is a fish. His head's sticking out right by the lasers.
Get a little zoom there for an ID, Roland.
Copy that. Just to let you know,
again.
I have down here the surface current at 1 knot.
Okay, I know what this fish
the direction 030 degrees.
So, let's see if we have any other fish people in the event log right now. We don't. I don't think so. But anyway,
copy that.
This is, I don't know if they changed the name on it, but it's Sitarkes gunteri.
Lasers off.
Very closely related
to if you can't keep going.
Scorpion fishes in the genus Scorpina and some of the other genera. A lot of genera in the scorpionids.
You come a little bit wider.
But I think it's in its own family now.
Able to get a
and
different
I'm going
view here.
to look it up real quick.
Partial.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's actually been broken out into its own family, Sitarchidae. And we're just going to go Sitarches species.
There, Chris.
Sure. Say, pilot, what is that spiny thing in the upper part of the screen? Could we focus on that? It looks like a gourd with lots of spines coming off of it.
Oh, I see that, yes. Yeah, give me a moment.
Yeah, of course.
I'm kind of waving around in the breeze here.
Maybe a
there's another fish there, too.
Go ahead, Bridge.
Yeah, we have two fish.
Yeah, two fish.
I'm looking at that thing, too.
Yeah.
Right,
oh, yeah, here's a black coral right here. I haven't been looking in the event log. I don't see a whole lot of entries in here yet at the moment.
Okay, Roy, let's get a little zoom on the... Yes. Hold that a moment.
What is it? An urchin?
That's a good question.
That's too much.
Might be a sponge.
Sorry.
Oh, you're right. I'll bet it's a sponge. Wow, that's a weird one.
Do you think it's still alive?
Well, I don't know. It's got a little covering of sediment on it, that's for sure. But I think it could be alive.
Wow. If so, that's...
Come wide again for a moment. I can sit down and get a little bit better view, but I don't want to squash this coral here.
Sponge on the end of the rock also.
I've actually lost sight of it.
It's just top center of the screen.
Okay. Oh, I got it. Yeah, okay. If I can just get a toe down here, and we'll just, without
what do we...
neighborhood. Okay, zoom.
Partial.
I think you're right, Chris. I think it's a sponge.
Going some more.
And presumably a demasponge of some kind.
Wow, that's freaky.
Max.
That's definitely a weird one.
Can't twist from this position, but
pull it out to
that's a great shot. I think we're good.
Okay, wide, please roll. Yeah, this is the limit of my tether.
Okay.
Ship position, but what I'm going to try to do is...
I think, Chris, are we good here? Can we move on?
Yeah, sure. Maybe we can make a little bit of distance. We just had so many things that we needed to
get back to you and head up current, Chris.
Yeah, pilot, I think we're good. We can move on.
Go ahead, Bridge. Copy that. Stand by. All right, co-pilot, I think they're happy with their current heading, and they would be ready for a move if you want.
Okay, great. Yeah, I think whenever pilot gets back in line here, 260 still sounds pretty good, or looks pretty good.
I'm happy here,
Sounds
Chris.
good.
I've just got my head into the current. It's easier.
Sure.
And I'll go wherever.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and
I spy some
get a little
movement on the
movement,
lower right there.
Maybe
10, 15, or 20 meters would be.
Is that a coral?
let's do 20.
I was actually looking up.
Good. 20 meters,
fine.
260, 0.2 coming up.
So there is some type of a white coral over there, Dave, in the lower right corner.
Lower right?
Great, it is nav.
No, maybe it's a sponge.
Let's get a move in. That's
Sorry, I
gonna
thought
be
it could be a
range 20
corallid there
meters.
for a moment.
Bearing 260. Speed.
Not sure what that white thing is, unless it's another Metallogorgia.
Let me back up a smidge here.
That is good copy.
Yeah, you can see how much current there is. There's not much sediment, and yet there's still bed forms on these rocks, even with what little sediment there is. By bed forms, I mean the ripples.
Let me, speaking of that, while we're waiting for the ship to get going, one of the things you can do is put the corner of your skid down and see.
Copy, Bridge. Thank you.
And a potential starfish to the upper right of the shrimp.
Where is that? Roland, how can you spot that? You see what he's talking about? Oh, he does. He spotted a starfish. They're right there.
Oh.
What
my God.
A set of eyes he's got.
It's his screen.
Roland, you're a miracle worker.
Well, we're looking at the same quality screen he is. So.
It may have something to do with doing this for 7 years on this straight shot ahead.
He's cheating.
Okay.
Stacking the cards.
Okay,
Shrimp for star.
They're rolling.
Finally. So Okeanos asteroid. This is what I would colloquially refer to as a cookie star.
Center him up some more.
Oh, we've got a little shrimp up to the side there. 1, 2, 3.
I'm down hard. I can't twist. I can reposition. We can
Oh,
get
wow.
closer if we need to.
This is astonishing to me how much the image is such a powerful quality picture that I can see the details on this. So this is a cookie star called Plinthaster, Plinthaster, or something close to it. That's Latin or Greek, I think. Aster, of course, means star, but plinth or plinthos, meaning stone or sort of a walking stone, because the surface of these animals are composed of flat, sort of ceramic-looking plates. One of the things that you often get with seeing living observations like this is how the disc is inflated. These have their gills extended up into the water, and so we didn't know until we started seeing them alive that the disc actually inflated with water in order to I would assume, facilitate gas exchange across the little finger-like gills that come off of the top.
So a lot of these yellow ones are more of these Acanthogorgia. These are octocorals.
Okay, zoom.
You have to be a lot more stable.
Well, I'm working on it. Come on in a little bit.
And that little shrimp looks like it's Plesionica.
It's also a translucent shrimp in the near ground.
Yeah, all of those black holes that are on the radial sides, all of the arms, those are the gills that are coming through it. You can see the surface is kind of inflated. Wow, this is just like holding it. That's amazing. And the plates are smooth. That's how we can tell which genus it is. These actually have little tiny micro nodules in the surface of the plates that some people think are micro lenses. I'm not entirely sure if they're what they're for, possibly to perceive light or
got some time,
possibly some other
coming
reason.
up and over you.
But the ship should be coming.
Very good. We can move on. Very nice. Thank you.
Did you see Tina's comment in the event log that the Australians call it a biscuit star?
Thank you, Rich.
Yeah, well, there's the same family, Goniastridae. The Australians have something called Tosia, which is very similar in appearance.
Lasers on.
But cookie stars is just a common name that refers broadly to these pentagonal-shaped goniasterids.
So, pilot, shall we go ahead and consider making our first move up slope?
Yeah, the ship is now
on the move,
doing so, and so am I.
And away we go. There's enough stuff down here to start off with. Boy.
Looks like you got a little feature there to climb.
Woohoo! Starfish!
Our depth, by the way, for those of you not looking at the navigation screen, we're at 576 meters right now, and our oxygen level is around 1 milligram per milliliter, which is really low. Our salinity is 34 PSU. Our temperature is 6.6 degrees Celsius.
Brown white thing below the lasers.
See it?
Yeah, that's
snap on that.
Wow.
Go for it.
Oh, wow. Okay, this is important. Could we just stick with this for a second? This is either a corallium or it's a stylasterid, one of the two.
Right.
And I think there is a stylasterid that's here off of Johnston, a beautiful pink one.
We're done with that move now?
It's looking more
yes,
like
we are.
that
We've been
to
stopped
me.
for about a minute and a
leggy
half.
Okay, good.
to be coralliid,
Shouldn't
but I'm
swing
not
much.
positive.
I think we're good to go.
If this is a coralliid, this would be a commercially
Great, just
important precious coral.
How do you guys feel in this position? I
Wait and see if
see
we
that
can
you
get a
guys are
slightly
pretty
closer
much
view.
in the middle of the wind and the current. Do you guys feel comfortable with this heading?
It's an odd angle for us, unfortunately, but
Chris, are we looking at the fan?
yeah, the fan, the white fan that's going to the bottom right now.
Okay, working on it.
Yeah, sponge is pretty cool too, but a little less important than the
Priorities
fan.
for the
I don't know
starfish,
priority is.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
that's what you meant. Of course, the fan.
What are you? Are you? That was good. That's very good.
Simply speaking the truth.
I don't know what that sponge is, but boy, I'm gotta do the corals. I gotta know it. I'm thinking this is a coralliid.
You want me to pull out? Looking at Sirius, you're still up there. You okay?
Yeah, boy, I wish Amy Bacco-Taylor was on the line right now. She could help us out here. Tina, let's see.
I can't perch with my
We're still talking about the Sea Star.
You want me to bring him in?
You've got her corrupted and focusing on sea stars rather than corals. I can't believe it. But
I'm sure she's just watching out.
I know.
Scamming out the video.
Important. We'll pull in port side.
Boy.
Go side 2.
I think it's a coralliid. I think it's hemicorallium, possibly.
The polyp tips.
Polyp tips?
Yeah, however close you can get would be.
Okay.
Has to have more zoom also.
Well, yeah, but I don't have the control. I'm just out here in the breeze. Let me have a look around here. Come wide for a sec here, and let me see if I can't.
Full wide.
Go ahead, Bridge.
By the way, this carbonate terrain here is, it looks to me like it's quite karstic, which means it was dissolved by fresh water at some point in the past, which also means that it was above ground.
Yeah, it has a very recognizable pattern, I think.
160.
It almost looks like coral itself.
Yeah. Those of you watching, just bear with us for a moment. If this is what we think it is, this is actually one of the priorities of this dive, to document
really
this
good.
type of coral.
Bear in mind, we're in an area with quite a significant current flow, so navigation can often be a bit tricky. Ah, a little brittle star.
Wow.
So I'd mentioned brittle stars earlier. They're distant relatives of sea stars, and they're frequently encountered on different types of coral colonies. They are cryptic animals for the most part.
So I'm going to go ahead and mention this absolutely is a coralliid. It's an octocoral. You can clearly see the pinnate 8 tentacles, and that is fantastic. This was the target of the dive. documenting the presence of these. So I'm going to go to hemicorallium on this one. I believe that's what it is. Yeah, and you also tell by the texture of the actual branches as well. This is fantastic. So that other one turned out not to be a gold, but then we find a precious red coral.
Neato.
That's beautiful. High five.
Well, what are we
Thank
going to do
you
for
so
the rest
much.
of the watch?
Look for more.
Okay.
Look for more stingrays.
Well, I know what to
and
look for
octopi.
here. It's white, pink.
Yeah. And then I guess we could look for a few sea stars and black corals and some other things that others might be
If
interested
we're lucky,
in.
we'll find a sea star feeding on
Tilt up
one of
full
these,
screen.
and that will make my day complete.
So pink, main
Yeah, Nicole
branches.
Morgan also agrees that hemicorallium.
Lasers.
Tina also thought it was a
Lasers
coral.
coming off.
Fantastic.
Okay, white tips, pink branches,
That's it.
big base. Okie dokie.
That particular
Video's
colony probably took on the order of about 200 years to get to that size.
Ooh. Don't want to knock that loose.
The red something under the ledge to the
I
left.
see it. Can't
So,
twist from here. I'm
Video's full clear.
okay.
Yeah, we're
Are
good.
you full
We're
wide?
good for science.
Let's go wide.
And maybe we could.
Thanks, Roland.
Now we're full
I have a
wide.
feeling we're going to be distracted on every opportunity to start heading up slope today, because there is so much stuff here.
Well,
But we'll go ahead and try to make progress anyway.
Good thing is, Chris, is that means later you'll have already seen it, and you can just keep going.
Yep.
that means
There's
There's
another
another one.
corrallid. Yeah, we
Right
could
there.
probably
Go ahead,
pass
Rich.
this by because clearly that's what it is.
wow,
Thank
it's a
you.
stunning landscape, though.
Yeah, another one of the ribbon sponges.
Okay, go ahead.
What is that black
Hot
thing?
lobster on the
Yeah, maybe we
black.
could take a quick zoom at that thing. We could have snap zoom.
Thing being.
That squat lobster that
yeah.
Roland just pointed
Okay,
out.
come in about halfway, Roland. Okay, I'll fly it.
I think it's on a Staropathes. I'm not sure. Let's see if Tina. I think we're just seeing an odd angle. And there's also a fish and another coralliid off to the left.
So, co-pilot, right now the ship wants to change the heading again. They're going to about 150,
What do you got here? Let's
145.
Okay.
In the event log.
I
Sort of an
suspect they'll
odd
be bouncing
angle,
around for the majority of the day.
Tina, I think I get a little jump on you. I think it's going to be
Copy.
another Staropathes, but this one's got a chirostylid squat lobster on it.
Swing arms look good. We're back to normal config.
small snail to the right.
Let's just get a little more zoom just for the beauty shot here. There you
Yeah,
go.
wow.
actually, this is possibly
pretty.
Gastroptychus, and may even be Gastroptychus, what we're calling CF, or close to Iaspis, is the species.
Got a few frame grabs out of it, Dave.
Okay.
Pull it out a little bit.
So,
Full screen.
interestingly enough, we have documented this particular type of squat
Footing.
lobster on other black corals
Full
elsewhere.
Okay,
Seems to
thanks,
be a black
Roland.
coral associate.
Something.
So there's
Come
more
on over here.
corallium in the distance. Looks like another scorpionid.
Oh, yeah.
It's the better image. We haven't got a good image of it.
Okay,
Just
I'll
distance.
see what he'll stand for here.
He's just below one
Come
of those
down a little,
corals.
give you a little bit
Yeah,
more.
he's looking right at the coral.
Yeah, most of the tether's just blown off from the
Yeah.
current. That's what you're feeling. It's
Yeah,
already
there,
got your
there
head,
is,
Yeah.
around a little
after we
bit there.
finish these, there is a coral directly up above that, kind of a leggy one that we might want to take a look at.
Okay. Goodbye.
That fish in that hemicorallium, that's like the page of a report on this area.
We'll get you a publication quality frame grab here.
See if we get a front cover.
Okay, rolling.
Slight left.
On it.
Okay, so this is a Satarkid, I believe.
Fish.
As one that we only saw the head of before. This is Satarkis.
Are you still changing your heading?
Type of scorpion fish, or at least in the order Scorpiniformes.